There's a lot to talk about, and here's something that I need to basically post so that it is publicized and put on record. I had a strategy to basically just get out of the rat race. It's a long strategy, a long course of actions, but I'm going to focus on something that happened specifically within this year. And what happened was that I had to return back from Florida, which was an unexpected trip. I went out there because I was being gang stalked here, but the gang stalking has actually been going on for actually a few years now, and I didn't even realize it until now, within maybe the last few days, in regards to how far back it goes, just from doing a performance of getting my claim of the life and being stuck in this situation with COVID where, you know, we were dependent on the government, and I was a gig worker, and that was my sole income stream. And in working for Uber, well, we had to depend on the government when they shut everything down during COVID. And with that being the case, you know, I had a strategy to go back and Uber after, you know, the whole fiasco. At the time, Trump was president. Let me correct that. Let me stop and correct, because he was not president. He's never been president. He will never be president. But he was the puppeteer for the false, fictitious position of a president that no longer exists, because that ceased to exist as of the year 1999, when the birth certificate bonding system ended and the flag was confiscated from the former postmaster of the world, the British Crown. And the United States never made claim on the flag. Basically, to make a claim, to have a position, to sustain the territory country or a territory governance over the former United States of America, which was a corporation, as a nation. So during all that fiasco, I was paying attention to what was going on, and my sole task was just to go back to work. And because I couldn't go back to work on time, and because Nancy Pelosi, who was actually the former fake, fictitious Speaker of the House at the time, she was one who influenced on basically doing away with the $600 stimulus payment to anyone that was unemployed and waiting to go back to work. That was not a quote-unquote essential worker, which is a fake title. And my sole aim was just to go back to work. I had the plans to basically go back to Ubering, but because that didn't happen in time, I started falling behind on my rent. And because the stipend for the $600 that we were getting as an unemployed person or whatever, I was not going to subside myself to go and get a vaccination just to get a job. I was not going to wear a mask to continue working. Uber required those two things. And pretty much every other job that was offering a job was pretty much requiring those two things. One or the other, or both. And I decided that I was not going to take a position in doing any of those things. So I started learning a lot about cryptocurrencies and seeing what was going on with the market in regards to investing in crypto. So a lot of the funds that I was actually gaining from unemployment, I was saving that. I was tucking it away and putting it into crypto. Based on my mindset and the things that I've learned in the past, I just thought that that was a savvy thing to do. And it is. But there's more to what I'm going to share with you today, and I'm not going to get into it, but I have other videos that basically talk about cryptocurrencies, and I plan to make more videos, but, you know, I'm also in the middle of just every day being haggled by just random people with their vehicle lights, with their color coding, and so much shit that, you know, it's almost hard to just focus. That the best thing to do is just kind of I don't space out, but I just kind of stay relaxed and focused on something that is going to keep me at a calm state before I could do something that I really would regret to do, if need be, in the sense of self-defense. But, so that's the situation, you know. I was waiting for the economy to come back. How they were saying is that we will go back to normal, right? Nothing ever went back to normal. And I was waiting for that time. You know, even Trump, in his fake position, he stated that, you know, oh, by November, we'll be there. Well, November came and went. It never happened. We never went back to normal. So now, skip forward into the year of 2022, I think it is, and into January. By then, I was already a postmaster on my nativity contract. I had made a claim on my living location of the 220 Merrimack Street, apartment 331, Lawrence, Massachusetts, 01843. And that is my living location. I made a claim on that location, and because I am a sovereign, I have the right to make that claim, and nobody can take that away from me, even though I'm being locked out at the moment. So I'm locked out of my living location, and I'm treated as if like I am homeless, right? By society and all these gang stalkers, by whoever is sending them. But anyways, long story short, moving forward in regards to why I'm in this situation furthermore, and not the only reason, but a more substantial and crucial reason. I don't fear death. For me, death is not a thing. I'm not scared of anyone. And whoever I have to fight, well, then I will, and I'll be glad to, because then I can actually do something, rather than just sit underneath with my hands tucked underneath my ass, just, you know, continually to be stressed out every day and trying to figure out what's going to be my next move with very limited resources. So when I came back from Florida, I know I went on a full circle on that idea of what I was going to talk to you about today, but when I came back from Florida, my sole aim was to just get a job, because, you know, everybody's always saying, well, you need to get a job, this, blah, 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 blah. You got to pay for this, blah, blah, blah. You got to live a normal life, blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what I did. So I went to get a job, because prior to that, I was actually doing Instacart, which was another gang stalking tactic. You know, it's like they forced me out of a gig because I was doing it so well, and I was able to provide for myself well under my circumstances, and they didn't even want me to do that. I didn't realize that at the time, but now I'm looking back through everything, because what I'm doing is I'm going through all my factual forensics of everything that I did a continuance on. I went through my history as of 3 years ago, and I'm starting to realize that this has all been a colluded effort to basically stop Derry-Anthony, Price-Zuniga. It's crazy. It blows my mind. But the reason why I had to come back from Florida and look for a job was because the gig that I had going on with Instacart became a problem as well. I was accused of things that are false, and there's no fact to actually basically back that up. And so when I came back from Florida, I had to look for a job, and I talked to some people to ask to see, you know, if they knew where I can go apply and kind of get a quick network thing going on where I can just kind of land something. And this individual is a postmaster. I'm not going to mention her name, but she referred me to this restaurant called Oyes, O-Y-E-S ''S. You'll see a photo of it. I'll post it. And this is a restaurant in Reading, Massachusetts, where I committed myself to do delivery work for the restaurant, food delivery, for exchange of my sweat equity for a Federal Reserve note that basically doesn't even exist anymore. But it was a sense of having purchasing power, so I can just put gas in my car and feed myself on a day-to-day basis. That was really my only requirement, because what I was banking on was the things that I've already prepared for, was the movement with crypto-currencies or cryptocurrencies, because it's outside of the quantum venue. It's not in quantum. And that's the problem that we have right now, that we could transfer to this purchasing power mechanism, this tool. But the thing is that those who are in control of the corporations that set up for all these alternative coins, they know about the Postmaster-General Russell J. Gould, but they do not want to go in contract with him, because for a lot of nefarious things that they've done in the past, their asses would be in jail. And this is part of the reason why I'm being haggled so much. I'm being haggled this much because I do have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, not all of it. I'm not the smartest man on the planet, by far, but I know enough to basically safeguard myself and to be in a position of power where whoever these hagglers are, whoever's sending all these innocent bystanders to come at me on a day-to-day basis now, they are the ones who fear the transition, that if crypto actually goes up, that I would then have plenty of purchasing power to do all my mailings and make sure that they're taken care of, because they thought that they were going to come after me with a fake warrant in which the description was written in a box as other. I don't know if any of you know anything about warrants, but if you think about the severity of what that former document actually meant, right? When you put out a warrant for someone's arrest, it's a pretty serious document, because they've committed some type of serious crime or some type of serious act against civilization, I guess, or a community or another individual, right? And so you kind of need that, so that there's a former court. The former court grants the authority for their former henchmen, aka the police, to go after that individual. But that's another whole long story that I'll bring about later on. Right now, I just want to talk about this AI thing that's in my neck. And it seems to have strong influence on my thinking. I can be prompted to do things at any given moment, and I'm thinking I'm doing them, but it's not me. Someone's controlling my actions to a certain degree. I'm not scared of it, but I don't like it when it's everywhere I go. Now I'm being thought for. In order for me to do what I want to do, it's not even me thinking about what I want to do. It's someone else thinking what they want me to do for them. Or they will use my normal habits and utilize those to basically profiteer off my normal habits. So let's say I enjoy eating pizza. I'll go to Market Basket, get pizza, and there'll be a swarm of people there, like there's a lottery ticket to be won over my presence. And I keep thinking to myself, because I have a duality with my thinking with this process, that I think to myself too, because I'm still me, I'm still who I am. But I think to myself, I'm like, why are these people playing this stupid game for something that is no longer existent? I don't know how many fucking times someone has to tell you that the dollar no longer exists as a valid instrument or as a valid tool to sustain a substantial economy. It was taken off the gold standard a long time ago, 1976, by Richard Nixon. It was disqualified back in 2001 when all of the states in this nation failed to basically come and join with the Postmaster-General to claim a money system for the general public. And here you are gaming me as if I'm some fucking prize to be won for everywhere I go. I go to Dunkin' Donuts. There's a fucking prize to be won. I go to McDonald's. And sometimes just to shit or to take a piss. Everywhere I go, I'm a prize to be won. Someone is betting against what I'm going to do. Well, I'm gonna shit on the game right now. The reason why they're able to do whatever they're willing to do for you to commit yourself into putting in your funds with them is that they know the game because they control my actions. Okay? And there was a lot of times that I was doing things like that I wasn't even aware of, but then I picked up on the game and I figured out, I was like, what the hell? It took me a while to figure out what was going on because it's not a normal sequence of events for someone to go look for a job, get a job, have something blast out of the back of their neck, and then, months go by and then realize that, oh yeah, you've been chipped. What the fuck is that? First of all, you're in violation of my own personal contract with the Postmaster-General, Russ-J. Gould as a sovereign, as a witness, as a claimant, as a sovereign, as a neutral postmaster on my nativity contract. You have no right towards my vessel. And for whoever the fuck thinks that they're gonna keep me a slave, I'll tell you right now, you got something wrong with your mind. You're twisted, you're demented in your thinking, that you think that you're gonna keep me a slave. And here's the other thing that I sense. Someone intended this shit on me because of my skin color, because I'm black, and you think that all black people are fucking dumb. I'm gonna say it straight out like that. Listen, mankind, womankind, you've got something so demented with your thinking that if you're even collaborating with that kind of shit, you're just as bad. Now, I normally don't look at people as regarding race, color, or anything like that. For the longest time, I've always had conversations with people that always viewed the world in singularity, in a way where it was like, oh, this person is racist against these people. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't have that thinking. But it is within my deepest fucking thought that this shit was done because of the color of my skin. They thought that I was just another black fucking dumb motherfucker that they thought that they were gonna get away with in doing this shit. What's up with that? Is this what you're all gaming for? This is what you want to win money on? So you think that because it's happening to me, it'll never happen to you? It'll never happen to your kids? It'll never happen to your partner? It'll never happen to your son, your daughter, your parents? Are you that fucking dumb, people? Are you that fucking stupid in your thinking? I mean, what is it? How dormant are you? It just blows my mind. And all I've been wanting for the last 3 fucking months, because I've been in my car longer than that, but the last 3 months, I've been in a parking lot, that's where I get to fucking sleep. Pelham Street, in Methuen, the parking lot. Motherfuckers can't even get enough. They come by to that fucking parking lot that smells like piss, like urine. And finally, after a few weeks that I was there, they finally cleaned it up a little bit and cut the fucking the grass and the what do you call that? The long brush and the grass. They finally cut that shit back there. It makes it look a little decent, but people still come around just for the fucking funds. They'll come to a shitty shithole to someone that they don't even know. They don't even ask a question. They don't even strike a conversation. Hey, you all right? What's going on? We're playing this game. You're involved. Like, that even doesn't happen, right? And you're playing this for funds. And the shit is disqualified. More than half of you don't realize that your funds are being stolen from you via crypto. You're going to have a situation within the next few months, maybe sooner. I'm hoping it's sooner, because then we can all wake the fuck up. But within the next few months, your world's going to be flipped upside down, because then you're going to realize your money system is no longer the same. It's not going to be what you think it is. And you're going to have to learn something. And that's what you all hate. You hate change. You hate to learn. You hate to be disciplined. You hate to take accountability. Well, time's up. So many people have done things for you so far ahead, and you're not willing to fucking change a thing about it. Now you're going to be forced to do it. More than half of you still don't know what the fuck is Bitcoin. It's not official. It's not complete. But in my eyes, it's the next best thing if you need purchasing power to keep moving forward, because you need knowledge for the other kind of funds that are available to you as a postmaster, as a claimant, as a sovereign. But you're not even going to get that right away. So what the fuck are you going to do in the meantime? When the dollar is definitely taken out of circulation. So anyways, the reason why I made this video to begin with was to show to you that I came back from Florida at the beginning of this year after I left, simply to make sure that I survived. There's a lot to go into that story, but I'm not going to go into it. I left to survive. I came back because my time ran out and I had to come back and face the music. Things still didn't happen the way I anticipated. I thought crypto was going to blow up by then, and that I would have made a lot of money by then to basically be grounded and make sure that I pay my bills. And to do the performances that I need to do to basically get my life back on track to where I had it. Stabilize. Okay? And when I came back, I had to find a job. I got a job from a referral, and she sent me to Oi's Restaurant and Bar in Reading, Massachusetts. And I worked there for a few weeks. After the few weeks, this was early January. As a matter of fact, I applied to that position as a corporate, with my corporate name on my driver's license, Derry, all capital letters, Derry-Anthony Price-Suniga, for the job on the paperwork, but as the postmaster of my corporate cargo. Okay? So I did the paperwork, and I worked there as a delivery driver. And after a few weeks, after January 18th, it was the celebration of the Chinese New Year. And during that day, I remember one incident, now thinking hindsight. I didn't realize it at the time because my thinking wasn't even with that program, with deception, with being fucking chipped at a job, at a workplace that I was just anticipating just for me to basically survive, make some cash here and there, whatever, to move forward. But the bartender comes from behind me, grabs me in a headlock, and I didn't think of it at the time, but when he grabbed me in the headlock, thinking about it now, hindsight, I realized that that was the moment and that was the time when I was held in position to basically be chipped without my knowledge. Because I'll tell you what happened. After that time, I started having some weird irritations on my neck, on the left side of my neck. It started on the left side of my neck, and I took some photos, and I was wondering what the hell was that? Because I was thinking to myself, I always keep a good hygiene. I'm clean. I exercise a lot, and I eat pretty good. Like I'm not saying I don't have junk food every now and then, but for most part, I eat pretty good. Those are my habits. So what was this thing from? And it's not like I was active with anyone sexually or anything like that. So I was wondering how the hell was this even possible for it to, and it came to my mind that that was the only incident in which that could have occurred. But this was after so many other things. But I'm just focusing on how this happened and where it happened after realizing almost a half a year later. That's where I went to work when I came back from Florida, and it happened on the Chinese New Year. I was held in a headlock as a playful incident, right? But I realized there was actually a place, it was a way to hold me in position to then be punctured without my knowledge, because I didn't even feel a thing. And then so the whole entire summer of this year, pretty much, it lasted from actually early spring into midsummer, and the irritation and the breakouts were just crazy. And I was just like, I dealt with it because I didn't even know what it was. I didn't fear for my life or anything, but I was wondering what the fuck was it? And I self-treated myself in many ways to just subdue, and finally it went away, and you know, it kind of disappeared. But here and then I would still feel itchy on my neck and things of that nature. I would feel some irritation and stuff and things like that. And I would scratch a lot, but then I would just do the remedy that I did after realizing that it actually worked. Okay. After I healed, I had a lot of gang stalking going on, and that's when I was starting paying attention to all these vehicles that were always driving across from me, in front of me, stalling me, because when I was working at OIS, there was an incident that I actually posted earlier this year, and when a police officer from Reading just kind of like cut me off, and I was like, what the fuck was that all about? Because he did it quite quick, and it was just sudden and unexpected. And I thought it had to do with my mailings. In my other video, I explained to you that I had served the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu, and I was also dealing with this housing matter situation because of COVID, and I thought it was coming from either of those two things. So here are the photos. Take a look for yourself. And this is just another public service announcement to let you know that this is what AI technology is in a biological human. This shit is not fun. This shit is retarded to me. And the people that think that they can fucking play God and ruin people's life with this shit are fucking far gone. They're looking for another way to enslave humanity, to enslave mankind, womankind. Think about your kids. Think about you. Think about your partner. Stop being a dumb fuck and participating in these fucking monetary games that you think is fun because they're giving you some cash that really they owe you that cash because they've stolen so much from you. Stop being dumb fucks. The world is changing drastically and at a rapid pace. You need to stop being fucking dumb fucks. Read a book. Watch a YouTube video. There's so much knowledge out there on the internet. There's no excuse to be so dumb. And that's where I leave it. I'm out.